Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. Can you see also my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. The green
Okay,
one.
the green one, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so today it's a very interesting topic. It's literature unit 6. It's manipulating records in databases. Like this is the life of database, and like most of the time, you are not creating new tables, but you are working with manipulating and changing data, altering data, and so on. So the study goals to use SQL statements, look for what? To insert new records. So this is today, we are not just we are not retrieving data anymore today. Today we are discussing more about insert new records to your database. Use SQL statements to modify records and schemas. This is also modification to modify records and also modify schemas. There is a big difference between records. You just modify, you have the same data, and you just modify what you have. And explain what transactions are and how they are important, and how they operate as well. So first one, what is a default value in SQL? The default value in SQL is a value that most of records will have, and thus defining the default value decreases the number of data entry operation for this field. So it default value is kind of like SQL. In SQL, there is default values when you create records, and this is kind of like most of records have this value, and we call this default value. Give an example on why a developer would need to change a database schema. Like, do you know, like any one of you knows why we could need as a developer later on, what could happen that you will need to change the database schema?
Maybe additional attributes may occur and they have to be added to the table.
Exactly. Like, even if you did your best in designing your database, if you did your best to do that, it will anyway, it will come sometimes that, like, the business, your business you are building will require that. So the type of this field has been changed, or like if you need to change the, like, some structure or attributes in one table and so on, or like the relationships between entities and the table, or tables, I mean, it you will need to change this database schema. But I mean, I prefer, or any, like, the basics, like, you need to do your best with your design, and then to take it from design to physical. This is like step from just your like analysis, and after analysis you need to make this physical. But later on, like, as a developer, you might find later on, like, something you need to change in the connection with databases, and this is happening all the time, by the way. Like, you find yourself as a developer need to talk to other developer and say, hey, we have an issue there, and we need to do this or that changes, and that happen. What is a bank transaction? A bank transaction is a bank operation that must be executed in its totally and relatively quickly. So bank transaction, like if a transaction happening, it means it should be like done fully or not done fully. But when it's done, the actions happening after that should be like directly based on that. If it's not, if there is a problem with transaction, you just roll back this transaction, and it doesn't commit. And also uh, in this lecture, we will also like we have an interesting video I brought to you, like animation video showing these transactions and how transactions happening in databases, and what if like there are different transaction happening in the same time. Look, if you use the same account and you do like automatically transactions or many transactions, like payout, and this payout like maybe like more than your balance there. So how you deal with this, which one should be like first, which one should be committed first? And this kind of transaction, it's something really very critical working with transactions. So here is a video. We start our
Processing data in databases. Once the database design, mainly the physical model, is approved, we need to start creating the database. In other words, we begin creating the tables and populating them, as well as creating the constraints and the transactions. SQL statements are also used to modify the data in the database. In this unit, we will learn how to create the tables in the database and populate them with data using the insert SQL statement. The insert statement inserts either immediate data included in the statement itself, or could be used with a subquery to populate a table by a part of another table. Data in the database could be altered or modified. For example, we might need to alter some data that matches a criterion to a different value. In this case, we need to use the update statement. Here, the condition is included in the where clauses. The values to be changed are defined by the title of their columns. Modifying the data can take the form of deleting data. In SQL, we can either delete records that match one or more conditions using the delete statement, or delete entire tables using the drop statement. Drop is also used to delete constraints. We can also alter the structure or the schema of the tables in a database using the alter statement. Altering a table can take many forms. For example, adding a foreign key or changing the type of a column. Finally, we will learn about transactions in this unit. Transactions are particular operations in the database formed as a group of operations that must be atomic.
So to insert data, like insert data into table, we have we have structure. So first you write insert into, and then coming after that the table, the name of the table, and then you use like write the columns which will be impacted with your entry here. Like first, like I wanted to enter into this table in the column 1, column 2, column 3, whatever, how many columns you wanted to change, or I mean to insert into. and then values, and then you add the values you wanted to add, and the value should be from the same data type of the column. So you are adding here first the columns names and the values which will be added into this column. So for example, insert into branch, this is the table name, values, you are giving her the values, but in this case you are giving the full, like the full structure. Like here you insert for all columns, like the ID, the address, and the phone number. And if you would like to specify, like if you wanted to insert like some columns and other columns not, which could be null, like and if it's possible to add null or it's a nullable value, or it's a nullable attribute, I mean, in that case you can also specify. But in this case, like here in this example, you add, you just write insert into and the table name values, and you just write all the values for this record. In that case you don't need to specify the columns because you add the whole all values from this record. If you want to, this is another example, insert into customer, this is the table name, and here the values, and that means you have now a new record with these values. Insert examples. This is what's happening when you insert the, this is what, like if you wanted to see the like impact happened after you changed after you inserted data. So you can just select asterisk, so means select everything from branch, and it will show the changes like the changes or inserted values. So here, so just imagine you here create a table. It's called branch, and this in branch ID integer, and you add ID, you as a primary key. You add here address varchar data type default 99 Republic Boulevard. This is the address, not null. Branch phone number varchar 13 null. So now if you wanted to to make this qualify this, you need to add here integer to insert. You need to add here integer, first one. Second one should be from type varchar, this one, as between these quotations as varchar, and the third one is varchar with this phone number. So you repeat this and you add different different records and insert into so now you added this value, you insert into it, and also you can insert like another one. Look here, you insert into branch address and the branch phone number, branch ID. So now you are changing the fluency here, or like which one coming first, which one coming second, and with this order you should follow after values. Like first you said insert into the table name, and I'm expecting first value address. I'm expecting it's based on you. So here the branch ID is coming latest. Then you have to add the ID list as you did here. And so insert, and in this one, you just insert branch, phone number, values, this value, and insert into branch. So you define what you expect, and then in this case, it every time it adds just the like as expected. But look here, if you added like something like here like flute in the database, it will automatically take this value as integer. It will not consider what after six, like this, after this float value, it will not be considered, and it will just take this six, this six as an ID, and this is as the phone number.
Fatih bir dakika sus.
So if you wanted to see the changes you have done here, you just say, as I mentioned before, you just write select asterisk from branch. In this case, it will show everything you inserted into your databases.
Adding data to tables. The first step in creating or implementing the database after the design phase is the creation of the tables. These tables must then be populated, taking into consideration the constraints required for data integrity. In order to create a table, we can use the create table statement. This statement starts by create table, followed by the name of the table. Then we list all the columns in the table with the data type of each column. Remember that data types differ from one DBMS to another. We also need to define the primary key in the table. One way to do this is to add a primary key clause at the end of the create table statement that includes the field or the fields that form the primary key. We need to add the foreign key to the statement when the table contains one. For example, the table order includes a foreign key, which is representative ID. In this case, any value of representative ID in order must match one of the representative ID values in the table rep. The foreign key is one of the fields in the table and references the matching field in the other table. Once the tables are created, they can be populated using the insert statement. The insert statement must specify the table we want to insert the data in, and then which columns we want to populate, and finally, the values we want to insert. We need to pay attention to the data types within the insert statement. We can also use what is known as bulk insertion. When the data we want to insert is part of another table, we can use the insert statement, but instead of including the inserted values in the statement itself, the values can be part of a subquery with a condition.
It's also possible to copy data records. So like just look here at this example. Like if you create a table, it's still new one. So you create new table. Its name branch 2, and it has branch ID, branch address, and the branch phone number. So you wanted to take the data from branch, the one here, this one, and you wanted to get the data from that table and insert into the branch 2. So how we do that? We would say, okay, now we want to insert into the new table all the values from the table, its name branch. So in this case, we'll write it like this: insert into branch 2, the empty, this is the empty one, the new table, and after that coming select asterisk from branch where branch address like 999 Republic Boulevard. In this case, it will select all the records which has this address, which like this address, and in this case, it will insert all these values to branch 2. Okay, if you wanted to check, always we use this select asterisk from branch, the table name, to see the impact or the changes happening there. So if you write select asterisk from branch 2, after we did this step, you will find that you have these two records, with that branch address and branch phone number.
May I just place a question? In
Yeah,
this
yeah.
case, is it necessary that branch and branch 2 have the same schema, or can
Yes.
they have different schemes?
They can have different schemas, but in this case, you need to select on. You need here to select not everything. If you select,
Okay.
if you select everything, what does it mean? I need the four records, the four columns: branch ID, branch address, and the branch phone number.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to insert, for example, if you have another table, and this table like branch 2, just imagine we don't have the phone number, okay?
Yeah.
We just have branch ID and the branch address. What could we do here? We will write insert into branch 2, select branch ID and branch address. So in this case, I am selecting only the two columns from branch.
Okay.
So is it clear?
Okay. And another exception could be that the same column has different names in branch and branch 2. Is copying possible in this case too?
Even if they are different columns name, it's fine. The say is the most important thing: data type. Data type.
Okay, yes,
So,
yes.
here we don't care here about the names. We are expecting here three values, right?
Okay.
So these three values: first one integer, second one
Varchar.
text or like varchar, and third one
Varchar.
varchar. In
Okay.
this case, you are expecting only in insertion. You don't know the names. You just expecting like structure.
Okay.
At the other record, not this one, the one before, there was a 25 point something. Did you say about 6.25?
Yeah, this
It's
is float
16.
value, and
Is
we
this
are
a
expecting.
ID?
Hmm?
Is this an ID number or what
Yeah,
is
this
it?
is the ID number. This is the ID number. Look here. This is number 6, branch ID here, and this is look 8526. This is the phone number.
But why it is like 0.2?
Default here. This is like the most common like value, as I said in the beginning, like
Hmm.
which the address like which is like most common in the entries. So for databases, usually you add something like common or default value for like most of like this is the branch address, which is like the default for for this place. Like I have the most common branch address or coming or most common. That's why here just wrote default. But for your question, you were asking about this float value. We are expecting integer. So I can't put the ID as float because I'm expecting integer, right?
Okay, yes. Yes. Float number.
Yeah. I mean the float number like 6.2. So you will take six as the integer. If you use like 7.55, you will take only 7 and leave the rest.
Okay, thank you.
This is in programming as well. Like in programming, if you take like float value into integer, I will just get the integer number from this. So update example. Update is also something really very important for you if you develop like something like application or website, because all the time like if like, just imagine if I want to update my profile, like Facebook profile or website profile. So here I how to write update. I update the table name, the name of the table, and here I set. Okay, this is the structure, and column the pairs of the columns names, and I give them the like the value for the change. This is the new value which I wanted to take, and the same for the column 2 and column 3, column 4, and so on. And where I put here like the condition which is like defining which record I am changing. This is optional condition for filtering the data to be changed, used as for the select statement. So how to write the update statement. So here you write update column name branch, sorry, table name branch, and you set the column name here which you want to change, and you add the varchar value here where branch ID equal 6. And if you wanted to see the changes on the branch, we will always use the same one. Select statement, select asterisk from branch. And in this case, you will find this branch ID has now a new branch address. Deleting. To delete record, you have also structure for that, starting with delete from and the table name where branch phone number like this one. In this case, you are deleting the whole entry. Like you will find the row containing or having this phone number, and this entry will be deleted. If you select asterisk from branch 2, like this is the new table, if you remember, this select asterisk from branch 2, in this case you have only one row or one entry here because we deleted the other one. Deleting data, the delete command, this is something I wanted you to understand, and I also here brought you like what link. I will open it here now. I just wanted to clarify something because it's like important for you. Delete command, it's this word or this command deletes one or more existing records from the table in the database. Okay, there is another command called drop. Drop command drops the complete table from the database. And there is another command called truncate. This one deletes all the rows from the existing table, leaving the row with the column names. Why do I need something like truncate? Do you know why do I need something like this?
If one record, perhaps one member of a society is no longer member. So
This is could be, but why I need to delete all the rows from the existing tables? I will tell you why. Usually, many like the programming companies, when they develop software or website, and they want to sell the same software to many other companies, like they don't start from scratch. If they have the software, they sell it right away to many customers. So in that case, they take copy from this software with the database and everything, and then they go to like customers and they show them like the solution, how it's working, and so on. If the customer is buying the software with the database, you delete all the entries. You delete the data entries you have there to so this is not his data, so he started to enter everything from scratch, his own data, his employees, his products, and so on. So he doesn't need your products or the product from the like previous database and so on. So you just truncate and delete all the rows. In this case, you give him like the database like from zero, like it's to start from scratch. He will start to enter his own data, like products with pictures, his own data. So this what's happening when you have your own software and you wanted to sell it to many customers. So you just truncate and make the rows empty, and in that case, like for the new for the like the customer, when he sees this, he just thinks that like you built the solution especially for him or something. Okay, so now I wanted to show you this. I will open this link and I will present it again. I will share stop sharing and share again. I hope you can see my screen now. Do you see my screen now?
now it's coming up. Yes,
Now,
now it works.
okay.
Yes.
So in this link, I will put it also in chat. It's very good for you to understand really and have the feeling of these changes. Like what is the difference between delete, drop, and truncate? Okay, you can watch this video; it's in the link. But what I just wanted to you to understand, like when you delete here, you like drop table and delete from table, so delete some records. And when you truncate, and also I wanted from you like to read this comparison between these different commands and when we use them, and the transitions happening here, and the memory space, like what's happening. It's allocating space. Does it still have space? Like So the truncate, for instance, command doesn't free the space allocated for the table from memory. You still have allocated space in the memory, but like drop commands removes the space allocated for the table from memory. The delete command doesn't free the allocated space for the table from memory because you just delete some records. Performance speed. This is really good one. This is really very good comparison to understand the differences. So, uh, for performance speed, the delete command performs slower than the drop command and the truncate command, as it deletes one or more rows based on a specific condition. Drop command faster. Why? Because you just say drop and the table name has faster performance than delete, but not as compared to truncate command, because drop command deletes the table from the database after deleting the row. It takes more time in execution. Truncate commands works faster than the drop command and delete command because it deletes all the records from the table without any conditions. So this is the syntax. Permissions. Delete permission is required to delete the row of the table. Alter. We need alter permission on the schema to which the table belong and control, because in this case we are working with the change on schema. But in delete, the schema is the same. We don't change the schema. And also for truncate, we need also table alter permission to use truncate command. Integrity constraints. The integrity constraints remain the same in the delete command. Here, the integrity constraint get removed from the drop command. And for this one, for truncate, will not get removed. The integrity constraints will not get removed from the truncate command. And as you see here, there are also good examples, and also the change is happening on this, and really it's a good link. Please check that later. So back to our slide. I have to share again. I hope you can. You can. Do you see now my screen again?
Yeah, deleting data.
Okay, that's great. So
Modifying database values and schema. While not always the best practice with databases, sometimes we will find ourselves obliged to modify or delete some data in the database. For example, in this order table, the value of the representative MID for order 4 is null. This is because maybe we forgot to enter this value when we inserted this record, or perhaps because at that time there was no available representative to work on this order. Now we want to change this value from null to a valid value. Let us say R6. In this case, we will use the update statement with a where condition to change the value to R6. When this is executed, the value will be R6. We can even update a set of records using the same update query. This is done when the where condition matches several records in the table. We can see here that we want to change all the representative IDs that are equal to R5 to R1. This matches 3 records as shown here. We can also delete records. This must be done with the highest level of attention because in most DBMSs, there is no way to restore deleted records. This is why, for the sake of this example and the next one, I copied the order table into a temporary table. For this one, it's order 1. And the query will delete the records for C3. You can see here that after the execution of the query, the C3 records have been deleted. It is crucial to notice that using a delete statement without a condition will delete all the contents of the table. Deleting the content with delete keeps the schema or the table structure. If we want to delete the content and the schema, we need to use the drop statement. Finally, sometimes we need to change something in the schema of the database or the tables. Here we can see examples of table altering to add and drop constraints.
Now we are coming more to something like more advanced. It's called alter. We talked about it in video now and also in the website I shared with you. So elements of alter table. So alter table, it defines the table to be changed. Like alter, this is like change or modification to a table to add column definitions. So you add like now we are changing on the schema. So now we add column definition. So we add a column syntax for the table, alter column definition in some database management system like MySQL, modify column definitions. It changes properties of the column by specifying all properties syntax as for create table. Drop column, when you write drop, delete a column by specifying the column name. So you can define like a specific column and you delete the column by specifying the column name. In this case, you drop this column and this table doesn't have this column anymore. So you are changing in this case the schema. Add constraint definitions. Add constraint include primary and foreign key as well as not null and unique conditions. The latter also for multiple columns. This also important if you have like not null or null values or and unique conditions. This kind of constraints, how to change these constraints. Also, now you are changing the schema again. Drop constraint name. So delete a constraint includes primary and foreign case, as well as not null and unique conditions. The letter also for multiple columns. How you want to make this change? If you delete like foreign key from this table, and this or if you delete primary key or not null values, how to follow this constraint and how it will impact on this in your database. So it's very important to understand the impact happening to your database if it's not null or if it's unique. Like if you unique means you have like the value, it's like primary case, for instance, and what's happening when you delete this, which impacting on other records as well. So alter, what I wanted for you to understand here, alter command is a data definition, is a command from data definition language statement. Alter is used to update the structure of the table in the database, like add, delete, modify the attributes of the tables in the database. So it's based on the schema. Update SQL command is just DML, data manipulation language statement. It's used to it's used to manipulate the data of an existing column, but can't be changed the table is definition. It doesn't change the table definition. You have the same structure, but you just delete, update some records or insert some records. But you don't. In this case, you don't change the definition of the table. I also added here two interesting links. I will share it with you. Just a second. I will also share with you these links in chat in case you want to open them with me now and also have a look. This is the first link to understand better. Okay, so I am sharing. I will stop share and share the second screen. Okay, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, so here in this link I shared with you the last one. This is the difference between alter and update with some examples and the changes happening on your database. So alter command, as I said, it's a DDL, data definition language statement, and it's used to update the structure. Okay. Update commands here is it's just it doesn't change the definition of your tables. And here also like alter command is like here is just also more comparison with more information, and this is the second link also with more examples with examples how to write them. And look, if you just see next, it will show you like how to rename columns, modify columns types. So you can also modify the columns types using alter. Like for example, if you wanted to change column size in SQL Server, you write alter table the column name, alter column first name. You will change it for varchar 50. It's in this case you are like extending or changing the column size. So what the following will change, like for here, for example, I mean you can just it's copy and paste it to into your. So there are different here different examples for different DBM database management systems. So here for SQL Server, here for Oracle database, here for this one for PostgreSQL. So what if you want to change column data type. So you will write alter table, the name of the table, alter column, this pin code integer. In this case, you are changing it to integer. Just to see which one you are using, and to try to find the code, and you can copy and test this. And also here to drop the complete table from your database, to just delete the structure and delete everything from the database. In this case, also you are changing the schema. Rename table, if you wanted to rename table, your take alter table name, rename to, this is the command, and you give it like the new name. And like if you, here was like drop columns. If you wanted to delete one column from your database, you write alter table name, drop column name. The columns names yet you want to delete, it will be written here. So all the columns you want to delete from your database to be here. The drop tables, in this case, is you just drop the whole table. This will delete the employee table in the databases. So this what I wanted to share with you. Like it's really good ones, good examples. I will share again with you the. So I hope you can see my screen now. Do you see my screen again?
Yes, now it's here. Yeah.
I
Thinking
hope these
tables.
slides are clear, because it's like advanced ones, and this is like concepts you need to understand really good. So as I mentioned, like if you want to alter, you have here alter table, and then the name of the table, and what you want to do. Like if here I want to add a new column, so you write add column and then the column name, and you give data type, and if it's nullable or not. If you wanted to see the change, you write select asterisk from branch 2. It will show you like a new column which you just created, and it's null because it still doesn't have any data. Modify, in this case, you have you want to like do modification like into like the branch 2. You want to insert into branch 2 values. In this case, you have here after you here you just do modification branch director. You wanted to like make it like varchar 50 and not null. Insert into branch, and these are the values. To execute this, you will get this error when you try to execute, because the branch director can't be null, and you are trying here to enter it null. So after you modified the branch director to not be null, you can't insert nullable value. This is like example just to understand the idea. Like you are changing now the schema. This is a video, a very good one about alter, drop, delete, update, truncate. Was my Microsoft SQL Server. But as I said, like it's the concept is the same. The concept is the same. I mean, in writing, the code it could be differ for could differ like from the ones you use, but the concept is the same.
Insert into select clause allows us to insert multiple rows into a table. This statement selects data from one table and inserts it into a different table. The alter table statement is used to add, delete, or modify columns in an existing table. The update statement is used to update existing records in a table. The where clause specifies which record or records should be updated. If we omit the where clause, all records will be updated. This sample demonstrates the use of subquery in update clause. The alter table statement is used to add, delete, or modify columns in an existing table. The select query shows that the column has been removed. The delete statement is used to delete rows in a table. The where clause specifies which record or records should be deleted. We can use delete statement containing a subquery. If we omit the where clause, all records will be deleted. There are no records in the table. Insert into select clause allows us to insert multiple rows into a table.
The truncate table statement removes all rows from a table. Truncate table is similar to the delete statement with no where clause. However, truncate table is faster and uses fewer system resources. The drop table statement removes an entire table. If we drop a table, all the rows in the table is deleted and the table structure is removed from the database.
I hope it was helpful for you. It's like more
Yes.
practical.
Yes, very good.
I mean, it's very practical, and it's like something from real life scenarios. So here it's transactions. This is very important topic. Like if we have two SQL statements, and you want to do like transaction in the database. Like if you have like 1, 2, 3, many statements, we use something called commit to just close this transactions, and also how these transactions happening, and one after the others, and how we like if you do transactions in the bank, like if these transactions 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is like consequence of transactions from start transaction till the word commit, all the all the statements between start and commit is either be done all or not to be done altogether. Like this is like from statement 1 till statement n should be happened together, all not to be happened like rollback. So if any problem happened in between, all these statements will be rolled back. If we reach this commit, it means that all these statements like committed, and the impact of them happen. This is the transactions, and also I will show you this video.
State. I've got a load of pink toys here, but I prefer blue. It'd be nice if we could change the color like magic. In databases, you can, with an update. To do this, use the set clause to specify each column and its new value. You can do this for as many columns of the table as you want. Just remember to include a where clause, or you'll update every row in the table. Forgetting the where clause creates some problems. Firstly, it's rare you want everything to have the same value. Secondly, updating the whole table will take some time, particularly if the table is large. This can bring a third problem. Only one person at a time can change a row. Once you start an update, no one else can change the rows your SQL affects. Even if they want to change the values in different columns to you, they have to wait until you're finished. And by finished, I mean committed. If, for some reason, you forget to commit, other people wanting to change these rows still have to wait. This can quickly bring your database grinding to a halt. So to avoid this, you need to commit after every single update, right? Not so fast. Sometimes you want to change several tables or rows at the same time, and it's important that either all the changes happen or none of them. Let's say I owe you some money and I'm finally getting around to paying you back. When I take the money out of my wallet, we need to update it to decrease the remaining cash. Then, when you get the money, run another update to increase the amount in yours. If we commit the change to each wallet immediately, we can end up in a mess. Say there's a disaster between taking the money out of my wallet and adding it to yours, so we can't complete the transfer. If this happens after we commit the change to mine, neither of us have the cash. To ensure this doesn't happen, either we want to ensure we update both wallets or neither. This is our transaction, the smallest unit of work which leaves our data in a consistent state. You commit the changes after updating both wallets, completing the transaction. Not before, or everyone could end up with no money. Often, your transactions will insert or update multiple tables. If you have different transactions affecting the same tables, you need to take care to ensure you avoid deadlock. Deadlock happens when two people each hold one resource, and then they want to get the resource the other person has. Neither is prepared to let go of what they have, but they can't continue until they've got the resource from the other person. Deadlock. Oracle Database automatically detects deadlocks and forces one session to stop requesting the other item, throwing an exception. This is an extreme way to solve the problem that you need to code around, or you're going to upset your users. But the correct way to deal with deadlocks is to ensure that they never happen in the first place. There are a couple of steps you can take to do this. First, ensure all your transactions change tables in the same order. This can be hard to coordinate in large applications, so make sure you talk about this with your fellow developers and test thoroughly. Secondly, you can mark your intent to change rows with select for update. This locks the rows the query finds until your transaction completes. Doing this at the start ensures you'll be able to make your changes when you finally come to your updates. This is particularly useful in long-running transactions which affect many tables. This can still lead to a lot of waiting, but at least everything will work. A final note on deadlocks. Unlike in some other databases, in Oracle, only changing rows takes out locks. Select statements never block others unless you add the for update clause. So you've avoided deadlocks. There's one more thing you need to watch for with updates, and that's if they go missing. Most applications these days are stateless. This means reading data out of a table and writing changes back to it are separate transactions. This can lead to problems if two people are working on the same data at the same time. Say Sequella is trying to deactivate the death query, and Jason just wants to make it look pretty. Both read the data out at the same time. Sequella switches the weapon off and saves her changes. A few moments later, Jason makes it a funky red. Now, here's where things get interesting. The data Jason sends to the database still has the weapon armed. So, if your code updates all the columns, Sequella's changes are lost. To avoid this, you need to ensure no one else has changed the data since you last read it. You do this using optimistic locking. There are several ways to do this. A common one adds a version number to each row. All clients must select this out when getting the data and then pass it back when saving. Your update then checks the version number is still the same. If it is, you update the columns and increment the version. Anyone who read the data before your update will still have the old version number. So when they save, nothing happens. You need to detect that the update did nothing. Then inform your users someone else made changes and check if theirs are still valid. This stops people continually overwriting each other's updates. Deadlock and lost updates are both issues which can lead to intense frustration from people who use your application. So, always test what happens when two people use your application
at the same time and code defensively to prevent these problems. You also need to take care if people can delete data in multi-user environments. We'll look at the ins and outs of wiping data in the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Transaction. What is a transaction? We hear this a lot in databases. A transaction is nothing but a bunch of queries. Okay, it's a collection of queries, so it's a one or more queries. Okay, and that property of these queries are they are one unit of work. An example would be if you want to deposit an account, right, and some cash into an account. That is actually a select statement followed by an update statement followed by another update statement, like we're going to show in a second, right? But each one of those is a query. The three of them can form a transaction, and you define what a transaction begin and where a transaction end. And we also, there is another semantic attached to a transaction, like a commit. Hey, I'm happy with my changes. Go persist them. Commit. That's what a commit means. Roll back. You know what? I think something went wrong. Roll back. Abort. 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 So that's another two piece of concept that attached by a transaction. We know that. Let's just jump into an example here. A transaction. I have an account here with a beautiful table, just two fields, because that's all what you need, obviously, for in a bank, right? Just two fields account. You don't need any. You don't need any date. Just two fields. So there's an account ID, there's a balance. This guy has $1,000. This guy's had a 500. And the transaction is send $100 from account 1 to account 2. So what do we need to do? First, does account 1 even have $100? I don't know. So I need to check, right? So we're going to begin the transaction. Going to select. Let's check the balance. Do you have $100, Sam? Yes, your balance is greater than 100. Yeah, sir. It is greater than 100. All right, let's debit that 100 minus 100. Okay, so now it's 900. Okay, but that's not committed yet. It's just meh, right? It's just touched. It's a dirty change. Okay, and then I'm gonna add another 100 to the second account. Gonna commit my changes. Turn green. That means it's like it's persisted. All good. We're happy, and that's it. Okay, so that's essentially what a transaction is. It's a unit of work, but it consists of multiple queries, one or more. Okay, that's a transaction.
I hope it's more clear for you now, these transactions. And to review what we want to learn today, we want to learn use SQL statement to insert, to modify records and schemas, explain what transactions and how they operate. So this is the transfer task, giving the following tables, try to insert and also modify as the table so that its value automatically increase for each new inserted record. Insert the record with these values, add phone number and to Suzanne's record using her ID, add constraint to ensure that the phone number can't be empty, delete all financial advisors working at branch 1. Add the table a new integer column named number of employees years, and then set the value for all employees to 3.5. Check the contents of the table. Delete the branch ID from the table. If you have any questions or problem with that, we can discuss this next time. So here, this is time of questions. In order to delete value from a cell, which of the following is used? Delete value, drop value, update table, drop table. What do you think?
A.
Sorry?
Version A.
A? Torlak? can't hear you, but it's the answer is C, because delete, you can delete one row, but update, you can update specific value.
Actually, I didn't understand when you did the last video, and I didn't understand this.
What you didn't understand exactly?
Like the topic about this last video, I didn't understand.
These transactions, as I said, it's either all the transactions commands in between happening, or not all of them happening. Like if one of these commands had couldn't be commit, in that case it will roll back. Roll back means there's no change happening. Like as you watched in the video, he wanted to transfer from from the bank account, from the first one to the second account. So if you get like $100 from the first account, you need to do 3 steps. You need to check first if he has like more money than this transaction amount. This is the first statement. Second statement, you remove this amount from the first account. Third statement, you add this amount to the second account. If any one of these 3 statements got an issue or has a problem to execute, in this case, it will be rolled back. Roll back means there is no change happening, because here it means 1 unit. 1 unit means all of these statements happening together or not happening together, like as 1 unit, either happening together or nothing happening. So transaction means like if exactly like you send the money from your bank account to like someone bank account. If a failure or issue happened in between, the money will go back to your account. Nothing will happen. This is the whole story. Is it clear now, Turlak? Is it a bit clear for you now?
Yes, more clear.
Okay. So in order to delete a value from a cell, we use update, because this is the value from a cell, only one value from record. But if you wanted to delete the whole record, we use delete.
Okay, but now let's estimate that the cell is not null. What do I write with the update command? I can't update to null. But
yeah, if it's like numbers, you you will put it like as 0, or like you if if you if there is amount of money, you will make it select the lowest value. If it's a string, you will put it as empty. So
okay,
in this case, we call it this like in this case, you delete the value and put the default value.
Okay. Okay, so it's not deleted completely. It's default or 0 in
Exactly.
the case of an. Okay.
But if you wanted to delete the whole record, it's easy. You just delete the whole record. Which of the following is used to add a foreign key to a table? You need to understand now. You need to change the schema.
Okay. In this case, now it's A.
Sorry.
B.
It's no. It's A. Alter table, because you need here. It's like you say alter, then table, then add. So you need to start with alter. alter word. So this is the question about.
So question is a bit wrong then.
Yeah, how to start, like you need to
Yeah.
start with alter
Alter,
and
then
then table. Okay, which of the following is executed at the end of a successful transaction? Commit, execute, rollback, do. Which one? If you remember, I explained. Sorry, Fran?
A again.
Oh yeah, it's a commit. Means do the transaction. So it's we are done with the lecture of today. I hope you go through these links I put in chat. They will explain a lot of information and they will be very helpful. So thanks a lot. I wish you a happy weekend and let's meet on Monday.
Yes, thank you. Also,
Thank you.
have a nice weekend.
You too.
Bye
thank you.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Have a nice
Bye-bye.
weekend.